Guess you wonder where I've been.
Alright, hi guys, Juggle here. As you may or may not know, I've been gone for a pretty long time. 8 months, to be exact. Would you believe me if I said I was pregnant? Or how about depression? Okay, you want the truth? I just forgot that this channel existed for a bit. The last video that I posted didn't do as well as I wanted it to, so I decided to take a break. And then that short break turned into 8 months, so here we are. But you aren't here to hear me yap about my life. You read the title, you want to hear about my OCs. If this is your first time on this channel, then you're not really gonna have a clue on who these 4 fools are, also known as the OCs I'm going to be yapping about, but don't worry, I'll clear that up for all the new gens out there. This is Lacy Grimsby, an airheaded girl plagued with radiation-induced narcolepsy and getting regularly mind-controlled by this guy, Jeff Spears. Jeff is the worst. I'll get into how he's able to mind control later, but for now all you need to know is that he's a terrible person and he regularly misgenders this guy, Vera Francis, or, as they are now known, Vera Fukawa, because I decided to make them Japanese and have Vera be a pseudonym they use online. Vera is non-binary, and a total badass. They like ghost hunting in specific, and purify spirits with their baseball bat, which has a Japanese protection talisman, otherwise known as an omamori, tied to it. They're obviously based on the batter from Off. Vera's best bro is this guy right here, and the last of our lineup, Trey Turner. Trey is a simple boy, he likes cheesy anime, drawing, and the insane clown posse. He's optimistic and unrealistic to a fault, always trying to see the good in people even if they really don't deserve it. Hin hin nudge nudge. I talk way more about their characters and archetypes in my other videos, but they're pretty outdated at this point, so I'm taking the time in this video to go over them again and tell you guys some of their key lore. First of all, I should talk about their designs, because oh boy, they've been through a lot since you last saw them. I'm going to quickly fire off all the iterations that they've had in order, so you can see my thought process when finalizing their designs. Here we go. First pass, second pass, third pass, fourth pass, fifth pass, sixth pass, and finally, their most recent pass. Are you ready for it? Drumroll please. And here they are, their 7th and most recent pass, and the designs that I'm the happiest with. Overall notes, you can see that Lacy has changed quite significantly from her first design. Vera has changed in terms of color palette, but their vibe is roughly the same. Jeff has changed extremely little. I really feel like I hit the nail on the head with his design, and Trey hasn't changed all that much either. I just wanted to show you a little evolution of their character design since you've seen me last, and I hope you like them. With that out of the way though, we can get into the juicy bit, their characters and their lore. So, I guess I should start with Lacy and Jeff, since I already teased their dynamic at the beginning. Jeff is in cahoots with a specific troll called Vidika Varhe. She's a Cobalt Blood, and she's dedicated to ripping apart Jeff's friend group from the inside out. To do this, she's lent Jeff some of her psionic powers through time tech shenanigans, and he's able to mind control people in short bursts. It's detrimental to his own brain, and is slowly driving him crazy. The scar on his forehead has been burned into his skin from how often he mind controls people, specifically Lacy, because she is the easiest to control. He makes Lacy do increasingly dangerous things and makes her say horrible things essentially just for fun, which Vidika revels in, and Lacy feels like an alien in her own body because of this. She's taken to actively fighting the feeling whenever Jeff tries to mind control her. In this little doodle I did before I finalized their designs, you can see Jeff mind controlling Lacy. Oh yeah, Jeff also likes Vidika romantically, but she doesn't even see him as a friend. She sees him as a pawn she can manipulate like a chess player. She sees him as a means to an end. Wouldn't be the first time he's been friend-zoned. Continuing on the topic of Jeff, I figure I should tell you some fun facts about him. His gun is called Beverly. Yes, he's named his gun, and he might be in love with it too? He's freaky like that. He's in love with an alien and an inanimate object. I stand an objectum king, I guess. Anyway, moving on to some fun Lacy facts. You can see in these two designs of her when she's older that she looks a little strange. This is because she lives a few houses down from a decommissioned nuclear power plant in rural Serbia, which is slowly bleeding radiation into her environment. Essentially, she looks like this when she's an adult because she's a mutant. The radiation gets the better of her. This design is based off of Mutant Mary Jane from 60 Seconds, and a very smart commenter pointed that out in my last video featuring her. Much like Jeff, Lacy is also in love with a troll. Yeah, that's right, everyone's thirsting for the trolls, which I'm definitely going to be making a video on. But for now, let's talk about Lacy's relationship. The troll actually sort of likes her back. It's a complicated relationship. This troll is called cousin Vera, and he's Lacy's patron troll. He visits her on Prospect when she sleeps in full knight armor so she doesn't realize that he's a different species, and his only goal is to protect her. He is the antithesis to Vidica, meaning that he's essentially her opposite. Where Vidica aims to sow chaos into this friend group, Kirkus wants to keep it together. This is all for some great big story that I might talk about in a later video. All you need to know is that Lacy only knows Kirkus as a mysterious figure who appears in her dreams sometimes and regularly stops her from getting mind controlled, so that's a plus. Let's move on though, shall we? My other guys need a little love too. So, Vera. A little about Vera. They live in a rural village on the coast of Japan, meaning their Wi-Fi is kinda garbage. This is important in the way that they have a similar problem to Rose in the comic, where they keep disconnecting from their session, and shenanigans ensue. They have firm beliefs that the spirit world exists, which is obviously tied closely to the fact that they adhere to Shintoism. They believe that they are able to purify evil spirits with their baseball bat, which they technically are, since ghosts do exist in the Homestuck Canyon, but they haven't actually purified any ghosts yet. They mostly just run around and hit things for the love of hitting things. I imagine Vera would be the first to ascend to godhood if this was an actual session. They definitely get shit done, and don't do as much messing about as their friends. When they have a set goal in mind, they'll stick to it until the very end, even if it harms them. Vera has a particularly strained relationship with Jeff, obviously, because Jeff is the worst. Jeff tends to misgender them frequently because he's not exactly sure if Vera is a mab or a fab, which shouldn't matter since they go by they/them, but Jeff is absolutely dedicated to being a contrarian. Vera doesn't mind that much. They like to keep Jeff guessing, and see how angry he gets when he can't figure it out. Despite having bad Wi-Fi, Vera is extremely technologically advanced, more so than their friends. They've built their own centrifugator, a purifier, and transportalizer, even if they look like they're held together by duct tape and strings because of Vera's limited resources. Vera essentially embodies what Jeff thinks he is, someone who's always on that 100 IQ shit, but as a matter of fact, Vera is actually on that 100 IQ shit, and Jeff is a poser. Vera has a patron troll too. Where Jeff has Vidica and Lacy has Kirkus, Vera has Cynthia Helios. Again, I'll probably make a separate video dedicated to the kids' patron trolls and more, so stay tuned for that. Cynthia is just as technologically adept as Vera, if not even more so, and they're on a completely amicable basis. Cynthia has no interest in trolling Vera or their friend group. She actually feels neutrally towards the humans, if only because she doesn't have the energy to feel anything other than that. She's sick of her friend's bullshit. Vera believes 100% that they are speaking to an alien from another planet, and not just an internet troll. Since they are already a person who believes in the supernatural, it really wasn't difficult to convince them. In any case, Vera and Cynthia exchange tech tips with each other, and it's almost like a business relationship sort of deal. Vera has a business relationship sort of deal with most of their friends, including who should be their best friend, Trey Turner. Vera likes Trey more than anyone else in the friend group. They think Trey makes for good conversation, and isn't as idiotic as Jeff or as airheaded as Lacy. They try to insert some level of humor into their conversations with Trey, but it ends up falling flat, as they don't really have a compatible sense of humor. Even still, they're pretty close all things considered. I suppose I should probably move on to Trey now. Trey, where to begin with you? Trey is a normal guy. He does normal guy things. I think where his main character issues come in is the fact that his moral compass is extremely weak. He's kind of a sheep, if you will. He's a follower. He tends to fence-sit and avoid confrontation because he wants to keep everyone happy, not realizing that sometimes confrontation is necessary for growth. His positivity is what led him to form this ragtag little group of friends, who would otherwise never have come together in the first place. He is the soil in which the friend group is able to grow. That being said, he often feels responsible for reining the whole group together, often with the help of Vera. He might have a little crush on Vera, but that's neither here nor there. Trey's patron troll is a pathetic little magician guy called Zorzik Razzle. His relationship with Trey is definitely one of mutual understanding. They're both the underdogs in their own friend groups. By that, I mean they're both bullied for being soft and weak by Vitica and Jeff respectively. It's easy for them both to get sidelined, but they're okay with that, which I guess could be called complacency. Some fun facts about Trey: he's working on his own webcomic, which is a sort of meta thing in universe. Basically, it's like he's writing the story of the real comic, within his own comic. Very hard to explain, but I'll try to get there in a later video. All you need to know is that he predicts some very crucial things in his own fate, which ties into Zorzik also being able to predict the future. It's like both their gimmicks. Trey also used to date Jeff, which is a topic I haven't exactly dived into in the past except for a few odd mentions. Essentially, Trey thinks Jeff is pretty cute, but ultimately a terrible person, so it was never going to work out. The only reason Jeff agreed is because he was bored and wanted to see where it would go. They're definitely not my favorite ship in this universe, but they're definitely there. And with that, I think I'm just about done yapping about my homestuck OCs for now. You guys can tell me if you enjoyed the video and the expansion of these guys lore down below, and you can tell me if you want me to make a video on the trolls in specific. But for now, I'm gonna end this video here. Even if you guys hate this video, I'm probably going to make a video explaining the lore of my fan trolls, since I really like them. But anyway, I hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.